Okay, hello YouTube. This is going to be a video on how to upload Kali Linux to the Raspberry Pi 3. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to kali.org. And in here you're going to want to go to Downloads, and you're going to want to go all the way down to Kali ARM Images. Scroll down until you find Raspberry Pi Foundation, and then this Raspberry Pi 2/3. Click that and you're going to download it. This right here, this is the SHA-256 sum. We're going to be needing this in a couple of minutes. After we download our file, we're actually going to need to verify that this version of the Raspberry Pi that we downloaded is the official version. Yes. Kali Linux is a data penetration software, so it's used to get access to all sorts of different files and directories and networks that usually wouldn't be available to the average user who's using any normal computer. And what people will do is they will put fake versions of this software out for free, because it is a free software, and if you don't download it from the official site, then you run the risk of having some really malicious software downloaded onto your computer. So you're always going to want to have to check this SHA-256 sum. And I will show you how to do that in just a moment. Looks like we're all downloaded. Okay, so now that we have our file downloaded here, we are going to want to open up the search bar, type in terminal, and open that app up. Then we're going to want to type the command SHA-SUM-A 256, and then the path to the file. So you could type out, you could change directories to downloads, which here, let me show you both ways to do this. So let's delete this. What we would do, since we're logged in as the home account, we would do cd downloads. And now we're in the downloads directory. If you see right here, it says downloads. That means that we're in the same directory as this file. So we don't have to specify the file path. We'll be able to simply do the SHA-SUM-A 256, and then our file name, which is going to be this right here. So we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it. Now, just to show you another way to do it, since we're already in the downloads directory, we don't have to specify the file path. But what happens is on a Mac, which is really convenient, what you can do is you can just drag this image onto the screen and it'll specify the file path all the way down to your file. So it doesn't matter which directory you're in, as if you can drag the file into your terminal, then it'll run the command. Now, when you press enter, it's going to take a couple of seconds while it it finds the SHA-256 sum, and here it is right here. So let's just copy that, and let's go into notes, and then let's sorry, I made a new user on my MacBook for this demo, so a lot of the stuff is brand new. Okay, so there is our SHA-256 sum. Now what we want to do is we want to go back to kali.org and to the ARM images. Oh, I was already right here, whatever. And then back down to the Raspberry Pi, and then copy this SHA-256 sum right here, and paste it right underneath your notes. And these should be essentially exactly the same. One's capitalized and one's not. But if you take a look here, looks like we're doing pretty good. Yeah. So what this did is it verified that we've gotten the official version of Kali Linux, and that we haven't, been the target of some sort of an attack and gotten some malicious software that's going to really screw up our device. So now we can be safe unzipping this file. So let's go ahead and do that. This might not work for you because you do need some dependencies installed on your computer in order to expand a .exe file on a Mac. From what I remember, at least on my computer, maybe you guys won't have this problem, but I wasn't able to open .exe files without first installing a dependency. But if you have Homebrew installed, you just type the command brew install xz. And yes, so, oh, yep. So seller is not writable. You should change ownership and permissions back to your user account. So yeah, what this is saying is that I can't access Homebrew, the application, because that was installed on my home account, and I never gave permissions to this demo account. But if you have Homebrew installed, and if you don't, I'll show you how to install it. If you have Homebrew installed, all you have to do is type that command, brew install xz, and you will automatically have the dependency that you need to unzip this file, this image file. Okay, so if you did have a problem getting an xz file to unzip, all you're going to need to do is go to Google and search Homebrew. It'll take you to the Homebrew main page, and then to install it, all you're going to need to do is copy and paste this link, or this command, into the terminal where we ran the SHA-256 sums. And it's not going to work on my computer because this is a demo account and it doesn't have administrative permissions, but you just press enter and it'll download the file for you, and then you can run the command brew install xz, and you should be good to go unzipping that file. Okay, so we've gotten our Kali image uploaded. The next step is going to be to configure our SD card. You're going to want to get a micro SD card with at least 8 gigs on it. Mine has a lot more than that. You're probably going to want at least 16. I would go with a little more than 8, especially if you want to get the full version of Kali, but it's not necessary to go above that. So once we've inserted our SD card, which is right there, we're going to want to go back up to the search and go to disk utility. Disk utility is going to show us all of our hard drives. So this is our main hard drive with 251 gigs, and then this is our SD card, what I just put in. Now, this is a brand new XD card, so I might not need to format it, but just in case you guys have an SD card that has some files on it, you're going to need to completely erase everything and then reformat it. So I'm going to name this as RPI Kali, and we're going to format it as MS-DOS, and master boot record is the scheme. This shouldn't take too long, especially if you don't have much on it. Even if you do, it shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. So now we've got our card configured the way we want it to be. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to go back into our terminal, and this is the part where you need to be a little bit careful. So what you are doing is you're writing this image to a hard drive. And just like I showed you up here in the disk utility, we have 2 hard drives currently on the computer. We've got my main computer hard drive and then this SD card. If you type the wrong command, you might mount this image onto your main hard drive, which would be very bad. You would delete everything on your computer, you'd overwrite the operating system, and you'd have to re-download it. It would not be fun. So the way you make sure that you are doing the right thing, or uploading your image to the right hard drive, is you're going to want to type the command disk utility, or just disk util list, and that's going to show you all of your hard drives. Now, you might be confused as to why I have 3. My main hard drive actually has 2 kind of accounts. It's got a physical and then a virtual account, something that Apple does when they put all of your stuff into the cloud. So this is my 2 main accounts. The way I can see is because of the size here. They're both about 250 gigs. And then my SD card down here is 127 gigs. If you're still not sure and you want to, double, triple check to make sure that this disk, this one disk 2, or whatever it may be for you, is the right disk, all you have to do is eject your SD card, pull it out of the computer, and then type the same command again, disk-util list, and if you'll notice now it's only showing, here let me clear it so it looks better for you. So now you'll see that I only have my two Apple hard drives, my virtual and my physical account in here. And so we're going to go ahead and plug it back in because we need to upload an image onto it. Okay, for the next step, we're actually going to need to be in an account that has administrative privileges. So I had to log out of my demo account and come back to my home in order to get this to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to type the command sudo dd if equals, then the path of your image file, of equals, /dev /rdisk, and then whatever disk your drive is on. So for me, my SD card is here on disk 2, so rdisk 2. And then also you're going to want to make sure you type bs equals 1m. That'll make sure that it goes a little bit faster. And then press enter. It's going to ask for your password, type it in. Oh, completely forgot about this. So what you're going to have to do before you can mount an image onto a disk is you're going to have to unmount it from anything that's using it. So right now our desktop, my computer, is using this disk. So let's type the command unmount, disk-util unmount disk with a capital D, then the file path of our disk. See how it disappeared over here and it says unmount of all volumes was successful. Then we can go back and type this sudo command one more time. And it's not going to look like anything is happening, and it could take a while depending on how fast your computer is at writing files. But if you want to check the progress, all you have to do is press Control-T and it'll show you how many bytes have been transferred in how long. That's a little hard to calculate. To me that looks like it's almost a gig, but if you want to make sure, just copy that number, go into Google, go bytes to gigabytes, paste it in there, and yeah, that's a little less than a gig. The whole file is only 7 gigs large, so this isn't going to take too long. Okay, so once the image file has uploaded to your hard disk or your SD card, all you need to do is eject it and plug it into your Raspberry Pi. I'm going to make a separate video for how to update, upgrade, and install the full version of Kali Linux on your Raspberry Pi. And if there's any questions that you guys have, leave them in the comments or send me a direct message and I'll see if I can figure out the problem that you're having. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video.